Today is Friday, July 12th. This is Noreen Johnson, and here are the good news headlines of the day. With the Republican National Convention set to kick off in just 5 days in Milwaukee, there is a lot of speculation about whom former President Trump will name as his running mate. Sources in Trump's political orbit tell Fox News and other organizations that 3 names are considered to be at the top of the presumptive GOP presidential nominees' short list. They are North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum and Senators J.D. Vance of Ohio and Marco Rubio of Florida. The former president, in an interview Wednesday, identified his leading contenders, saying this: "Everything's an issue. I think I'm pretty well set in my own mind. And as for the timing," Trump confirmed again, "I'd love to do it during the convention." President Joe Biden's administration has shifted its position on sex change surgeries for minors for the second time this month, now appearing to support surgical gender transitions for people under the age of 18. Neera Tanden, the director of the White House Domestic Policy Council, sent an email to the Human Rights Campaign, an LGBT advocacy group, confirming that the White House supports transgender medical interventions on minors and opposes state-level efforts to restrict them. The news was first reported by The Advocate, an LGBT magazine, which obtained the email from HRC. In her email, Tanden said that sex change surgeries are typically reserved for adults, and we believe they should be. Above all, families should have the freedom to make the medical decisions that they and their doctors determine are best for them. She went on to say they will continue to vigorously fight categorical bans on gender-affirming care in the courts, including the Supreme Court. And they will fight back hard against partisan laws being pushed by extreme Republican elected officials that target Americans just for who they are. In other news, 11 Vietnamese Christians, including 5 Catholics, are reportedly missing from detention, according to a recent report from International Christian Concern, a U.S.-based advocacy group. According to the report, the 5 missing Catholics were allegedly accused of undermining national unity policy for their participation in the Ha Mon Catholic Church, which lacks government approval. The report also mentions that 6 Protestant detainees are among the missing, including 4 who were allegedly accused of involvement with Daguerre Protestantism, a movement not recognized by Vietnam's government. There is increasing unity among the men joining the priesthood. Brad Vermeulen, an assistant professor of sociology at the University of St. Thomas in Houston, who has studied the rightward shift of the American priesthood, said this: "They are overwhelmingly conservative in their theology, their liturgical tastes, and their politics. Priests ordained since the 2010 era are clearly the most conservative cohort of priests we've seen in a long time. Surveys starting in the 80s tracking the opinions of priests have found that each new wave of priests in the U.S. is noticeably more conservative than the one before it. Changing attitudes will reshape parish life, where priests choose topics for homilies and have discretion over matters like whether girls can volunteer as altar servers and lay people can assist in the distribution of communion. It will also influence the leadership ranks of the American Church, which already has a global reputation for conservatism and antagonism to Pope Francis's more pastoral tone in leadership." July 12th marks the feast day of St. Ignatius Delgado, whose feast we celebrate on July 12th. He was a Spanish missionary and is now one of the martyrs of Vietnam. He was born in Spain in 1761 and was raised in a pious family. He became a Dominican priest and served as a missionary in Vietnam for almost 50 years. When Christian persecution began, Ignatius was arrested and locked in a cage, then put on public display for ridicule and abuse, and left to die. St. Ignatius Delgado, pray for us. And those are your daily good news headlines. This is Catholics for Catholics. May God bless you, and may God bless the USA.